have such a full hall. Hope everyone's feeling the spring butt up in you a little bit. Between the rain and the sun, it kind of feels like we're getting a scrub down. Which I like. I was thinking the other day, sometimes I have to travel to Los Angeles for, there's a temple there that I'm connected with, and it always seems so dirty. And I was thinking, like, why does it seem so dirty? And I thought, well, it's a big city and everything. I thought, well, wait a minute, I don't get the scrub down. Like, we get the scrub down. So anyway, I'm appreciating that this time of year, and I just noticed that the plums on the plum tree outside of my office, they're just about this big. So they're one of the first fruits that will ripen here at the temple. So it's always a little exciting when they appear. And the plum tree is a symbol within Buddhism. Its blooming is a symbol for awakening, because it's one of the first trees, if not the first tree in East Asia, that blooms. And it oftentimes blooms in the winter, while there's still snow on the ground. So right at the depths of cold and winter, and what for some people will feel like despair, there is this blossom. And if you're lucky, you'll catch it when there's just a few. A little bit like when you notice the moon. Like mostly I forget there's a moon. Mostly. And even at nighttime. But sometimes you're walking and then it's like there's some little flash of light in the corner of your eye, and then you look and then there's a moon, and there's something that you remember, something you discover, even though you've seen the moon countless times. You discover the moon again in that moment. That's so much what our path is about. There's a discipline within Zen Buddhism, and that will be expressed in the ceremonies today, in both word and in action. But the discipline is not about making ourselves be better. It's much more about noticing. It's much more like seeing the moon when you forgot that it was there. And then your life is different because you have reacquainted yourself with something which is profound and has really been there all your life. The Buddha Shakyamuni, who was the founder of Buddhism in this world, in this time, he said, I didn't make this path up. He said, I discovered this. And it's an ancient path. An ancient path. Here, ancient doesn't just mean old. Ancient means like beyond time. It's something that is outside of our normal reference. When a Buddhist says ancient, like when the Buddha says ancient, we can't even really understand what that means, because in the story of the Buddha's awakening, there's countless lifetimes, right? We have a term in Buddhism called the kalpa. There's all kinds of different definitions for how long a kalpa is, but one of them is the amount of time it would take if a bird swooped down every 100 years and the tip of its feathers just barely touched the peak of the Himalayas, a mountain in the peak of the Himalayas. A kalpa is the amount of time it would take for that mountain to become completely flat by the touch of this bird. Now, I used to just think like, yeah, people hyperbole, people like to make stuff up. And I was listening to a poet that lives in Vermont a couple months ago on the radio. I wish I could remember his name now. He translated a lot of ancient Chinese poetry. And he's written a book called Hunger Mountain, I believe. Anyway, I highly recommend it. And he was talking about the mountains there in Vermont, particularly about Hunger Mountain and those old white mountains that are there. And he said they were 40,000 feet. And now when you drive by them, I was able to visit Vermont last year. First time I drove through those mountains, and they're not so tall, especially if you live in Oregon. You're like, mountains, really? You're calling these mountains? You feel that way a little bit, but they feel very old. And you know that you get a feeling that they will be flat at some point. Mm-hmm. And furthermore, he said, this has happened at least 3 times from our scientific exploration of the thing. If we could go past our scientific explanation, how many times has that happened? So this is what the Buddha is talking about when he says an ancient path. And waking up to that ancient path, the Buddha gave a resolve to live in a certain way. And we called the certain way that the Buddha lived expedient means. He didn't say, I will be able to express this fully and completely. I am the one. Everyone should do exactly as I do. The Buddha said, I've discovered this way and I'm going to live it out to the best of my ability. Do you want to live it out to the best of your ability? Come. Let's engage in that with our limited human life. It was very important. Let's engage in that with our limited human life. Of course I'm limited. Of course I'm ignorant. Of course I'm deluded. That's what it means to be human. And yet there is some possibility that we live in accordance with this noticing of the moon. And so everyone today who will receive a Jukai, they've heard that call and they said, I want to apply myself to living out this deluded life in a way that I'm noticing and trying to live my life in accordance with that deep noticing of something which is ancient and pervasive. They're applying themselves to a particular expedient means. It's not the point that they're saying, or I'm saying, or anyone here is saying, everyone should do it just like this. It's just saying this is a way. And the specificity is important, because in our limited lives, if we don't encounter something specific and concrete, mostly we just theorize about it. We have all kinds of ethical deliberations. Oh, so wise, so wise. But where does the rubber hit the road? That becomes the question of answering those ethical questions with our lives. And so these people who are receiving precepts today, you know, of course, they're endeavoring to maintain the precepts. What does that mean? I always tell the story of the first Jukai that we did here at Budai Temple, the first time that I was a preceptor, and my daughters were there sitting in the Zendo was much smaller then, and it was oriented, and my eldest daughter, Anzu, was right there. She was probably 9. And we're going through the ceremony, which you'll experience here in a few minutes, and we get to the precept of not being angry. And as I said, you know, not being angry from this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not? And as I'm saying this, I see her face, and she's just what's going on? And I remember that so fondly, the way that a life really gives you teaching, you know. Who was receiving the precept at that moment? Definitely. The point isn't that I'm able to keep all the precepts perfectly in the sense of staying on the right side of the line. If there's a precept that says do not be angry, does that mean that I'll always not be angry? No. But it means that I want to notice. And in noticing what kind of harm anger does, I want to realign my being through that noticing. And that's true of all of the precepts. And in that way, people receiving the precepts, they're not simply receiving the precepts from themselves. It's not just about their life. It's about everyone's life. And this ceremony or this ritual isn't just about their life. It's about all of our lives. It's about how it is that as a people, we learn to wake up. And everyone has to do that in their own way. But own way doesn't mean isolated, independent way. You see that? Oftentimes we tell ourselves that story. That I have to do it my way means that I have to be isolated and independent. No one's allowed to tell me what they think. You know, we have a big problem with that now in this country, right? Like, I should be able to say whatever I want without any repercussions. Right? Well, that's not how interdependence works. There's always repercussions. Even if you say something really good, there's a repercussion. Right? If you say something bad, there definitely should be repercussions too. What is good and bad anyway? We're not sure if there's no repercussions. So these 8 wonderful people, which I feel so honored to be preceptor for, are leaning in that way. And they're doing it for themselves because they notice something, but they're also doing it for all of you, and they're doing it for the world as a whole. And so as we enter into the ritual, I just want to encourage everyone that this ritual is for everyone. And it's long. Right? But long, a little bit like the ancient. If you click into Buddha's reference of ancient, it won't seem so long. This would be like that. And there's actually a way to do that, and it's called meditation. So when we come to a ritual, it's really important, within this school at least, that we don't just look for, okay, what's happening, what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next, but that we receive the ritual as a facet of meditation. That as we're sitting, that we say, okay, I'm here. And when the mind gives rise to like, I wonder how much longer, right? We say, oh, I'm just here. I'm just present with what is happening, with what is happening through the ritual. And if you do that, I think the ritual will make a lot of sense. It doesn't need much explanation. So I just invite you to engage that kind of meditative state during the ritual. If you need to leave the hall for some reason, that's fine. You're welcome to do that, and then come back if you feel inclined. It's not that long. It's not that long. It's not like you're going to be like, oh, getting out of here. But that's fine. Just to put yourself at ease, and then to receive the hearts of these people as they come forward to receive this expedient means, which is traced back all the way to the Buddha. It'll take us a few minutes to prepare, and then we'll get started. I'll just remind people who received the precepts before, you are obliged to renew your vows while you're part of the ceremony, which means to join in with the people receiving the precepts. If you haven't received the precepts, but you would like to engage them, you're also welcome to join in with the assembly in the way that feels comfortable to you, as much or as little as you like.
ungiri vazurumbata, ungiri vazurumbata, ungiri vazurumbata, ungiri vazurumbata, ungiri vazurumbata, ungiri vazurumbata. Om Homage to all the Buddhas, homage to all the Dharmas, homage to all the Sanghas, homage to our original teacher Shakyamuni Buddha, homage to all the Bodhisattva ancestors. I pray that you will all come here as witness. Let us recite the names of Buddha. You will be known in the Dharma as Koten, flourishing heavens. You will be known in the Dharma as Seyo, true nourishment. You will be known in the Dharma as Onshin, gentle heart. You will be known in the Dharma as Jinkaku, benevolent awakening. You will be known in the Dharma as Jokan, silence penetrating. You will be known in the Dharma as Hosho, setting free true nature. You will be known in the Dharma as Enyu, circles of the unseen world. You will be known in the Dharma as Esho, wisdom, illumination. Let us recite the robe verse. To receive the precepts, you should first perform Sangha, atonement. There is a Sangha verse that has been maintained by the Buddhas. By reciting it, your past wrongdoings lose their hold on you. Repeat after me. All my past and harmful karma, all my past and harmful karma, born from beginningless body, speech, and mind. I now fully avow. All my past and harmful karma. Born from beginningless greed, hate, and illusion. Body, speech, and mind. I now fully avow. You have cleansed your body, speech, and mind and become pure by the power of atonement. You should take refuge in the three treasures of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. When refuge is taken, the three merits are complete. Repeat after me. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. I take refuge in the unsurpassed Buddha. I take refuge in the immaculate Dharma. I take refuge in the harmonious Sangha. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. Now you have left behind your past misdeeds and taken refuge in the triple treasure. From this time, the Buddha in true enlightenment are your real teacher. Call the Buddha your master. This is my benevolence to you. received the precepts of the 3 treasures. Now you should receive the 3 pure precepts and the 10 grave precepts. 3 pure precepts. Embracing codes and forms. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing codes and forms. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing codes and forms. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing good dharmas. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing good dharmas. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing good dharmas. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing living beings. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing living beings. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing living beings. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
These are the 3 pure precepts. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain these precepts or not?
I will.
These are the 3 pure precepts. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain these precepts or not?
I will.
From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain these precepts or not?
I will.
Next are the 10 grave precepts. First precept, not killing. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
First precept, not killing. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
First precept, not killing. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Second precept, not stealing. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Second precept, not stealing. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Second precept, not stealing. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Third precept, not misusing sexuality. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Third precept, not misusing sexuality. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Third precept, not misusing sexuality. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Fourth precept, not speaking falsely. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Fourth precept, not speaking falsely. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Fourth precept, not speaking falsely. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Fifth precept, not dealing in intoxicants. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Fifth precept, not dealing in intoxicants. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Fifth precept, not dealing in intoxicants. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Sixth precept, not discussing faults. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Sixth precept, not discussing faults. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Sixth precept, not discussing faults. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Seventh precept, not praising self and criticizing others. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Seventh precept, not praising self and criticizing others. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Seventh precept, not praising self and criticizing others. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Eighth precept, not being stingy with Dharma or wealth. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Eighth precept, not being stingy with Dharma or wealth. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Eighth precept, not being stingy with Dharma or wealth. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Ninth precept, not being angry. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Ninth precept, not being angry. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Ninth precept, not being angry. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
10th precept, not disparaging the triple treasure. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
10th precept, not disparaging the triple treasure. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
10th precept, not disparaging the triple treasure. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
These are the 10 grave precepts. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain these precepts or not?
I will.
These are the 10 grave precepts. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain these precepts or not?
I will.
These are the 10 grave precepts. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain these precepts or not?
I will.
Maintain them as stated. this time, in all the Buddha lands of the 10 directions, auspicious signs appear. The earth trembles and flowers fall. The bodhisattvas of other worlds ask their Buddha what this means. And the Buddhas reply that in the world of suffering, among those who are heir to the Dharma of Shakyamuni Buddha, people of faith have given rise to a serious intention. They have been converted to the truth and have received the pure great precepts of the bodhisattvas from the preceptor who previously received them from the line of Shakyamuni's heirs. In a future age, they will become Buddhas through this merit. It is for this reason that the universe rejoices. In every Buddha land, these miraculous signs have appeared. Upon hearing this explanation, the bodhisattvas bow toward you, saying, "If this is so, you are the same as we, fellow travelers on the way." Hence, with all Buddhas as preceptors, and with the bodhisattvas as your friends, you are able to receive these precepts. Their merit is indestructible and secure. This is the precept that never ages and never decays. I pray that you may never lose it, and that you always maintain and keep it. Although there are causes and conditions for every circumstance partakes of the Dharma body. How could there be a realm where the precept does not apply? Who shall dedicate this merit? With what and to whom shall this merit be dedicated? Although there is a giver and receiver, the three wheels are completely pure. There is nothing to be wished for. Let us preserve our good karmic roots, and together with all sentient beings, make a dedication of merit that is equally shared to supreme and perfect awakening.